Hi everybody, welcome to Insight from the Torah portion. This Parsha is Parshat Chayei-Sarah. We're going to have a beautiful, interesting idea in the Torah portion, and then also some tools how to improve our self-confidence and have self-control, how to deal with conflict in general, and specifically I will talk about conflicts between a couple. And all the tools are from the CBT approach, the cognitive behavioral approach. If you didn't register to the subscribe to the channel yet, now it's the time. And also, you're welcome to join my WhatsApp group that I send there every week the video, so you won't miss any of them. The link to be in my WhatsApp group will be underneath the video, so please join. So as usual, we start with the Torah and then continue to the tools. So today I want to start talking about love with our fathers and mothers in the Torah, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. And I want to talk about their love, because we can see from the three different couples different kinds of love, and also different ways of dealing with conflicts. So let's start with Avraham and Sarah. Avraham and Sarah, they were a couple that built a new nation. They said that Avraham, his name was Avraham Ivri, because he was from one side and everybody else was from the other side, the Ever Hasheni, the other side. And he was basically like bringing the idea of Judaism into the world, and it was a big deal, very busy with that. And you don't see the word love in their relationship at all. You don't see it. With Yaakov and Rachel, it's exactly the opposite. You see the love from first look. It's like Hollywood there. It says in the Psukim, ויהי כאשר ראה Yaakov et Rachel, when Yaakov sees Rachel in the first time, he goes, the situation is, he come in and he see Rachel with the sheep, and she's waiting for the other people to come and take off the heavy stone from the water, from the well, so she can give her animals to drink. But she can't lift it by herself, and also one person cannot lift it by himself, even if it's a guy. Only few guys together need to come and then lift the stone together, and everybody lets the animals to drink. But when Yaakov sees her, he gets powers. כתוב, ויעגל יעקב את האבן מעל פי הבאר. He takes the stone off from the well by himself, and it's used the word vayagel. It's like legalgel, to like move, but it also reminds the milah gila, that means happy. Sorry, because I think he was so happy to see her. He felt like it was his true love. Like from first look, it's not something like that regular people have, but obviously Yaakov was on a really high level, and he knew, so he saw her, vayagel et heaven. He was like, he had so much joy in himself. And it's interesting, it says first, vayashek et tzon lavan achimo. He gives the animal to drink, vayashek, from lashkot, to give them to drink, lishtot. But vayashek, it also reminds the word neshika, kiss. And the next pasuk is vayashek Yaakov Rachel. Like first he gives the animals to drink, her animals to drink, and then he kisses her. But it's the same word, vayashek. And then there's some few more psukim, and then it says that he stayed with Lavan for a month. Lavan is the father of Rachel. And then the next pasuk it says, Vayahav Yaakov et Rachel. Mama says that he loved her. Vayahav is loved, Yaakov et Rachel. Yaakov loved Rachel. And like it was there only for 1 month. It was like big love between them. They even didn't get married yet. But if we take the middle couple of Yitzchak and Rivka, they're actually exactly in the middle, because it says that Yitzchak loved Rivka, but only after she became his wife, and it's something more even, like less like not Hollywood from first look. It's something like more realistic, and it's like the love is growing. It says in the pasuk. Okay. It says in the pasuk, ויבע יצחק אוהלה שרה אמו, ויקח את רבקה ותהי לו לאישה ויהביה. It take her to a house, and then she becomes his wife, and then he loves her. And now I want to talk about the conflict issues. Let's talk about the first couple, Avraham and Sarah. Where we see conflict, we see when Sarah asked Avraham to send Agar and Ishmael out of the house, and Avraham doesn't want to do it. And you see that Avraham is not happy with it, and it's bad in his eyes. I will read it from the Psukim. It's Bereshit, the 21 chapter, and the Psukim is 10 and 11. ויאמר לאברהם, ותאמר לאברהם, she says to Avraham, גרש את האמה הזאת ואת בנה. You shall let the Agar and her son to go, ask him to go. כי לא יירש בין האמה הזאת עם בני עם יצחק. Because this kid, he shouldn't be the one after us with my son Yitzchak. And in the next pasuk it says, וירא הדבר מאוד בעיני אברהם. The thing was really bad in the eyes of Avraham. It didn't take it like in a good way. And also in Yaakov and Rachel we see that Rachel wants to be pregnant, and it's really hard for her to get pregnant. And then she's annoyed with Yaakov that he didn't daven for her to Hashem so she will have kids. And then you see Yaakov enter very strongly. He says, "Vayichar af Yaakov berachel." He is like he's annoyed with her. He's angry, and he says to her, "Atachat Elokim anochi, am I underneath God? Asher mana mimech pri beten? Did I didn't let you be pregnant? What? It's my responsibility. Daven for yourself." But he's like angry. Vayichar. It's like being angry. But if you look about Yitzchak and Rivka, again, you see something more relaxed in the relationship, and more you never see them being annoyed with each other, using hard words, even though we're sure they didn't have easy life. Their son ran away, Yaakov ran away, Esau wasn't a good son. He didn't do what they wanted them to do. He got married with Bnot Knani, that it's the girls of they didn't want him to marry. It was like they didn't have easy life. Sarah, Rivka made her son lie to Yitzchak, and probably after that Yitzchak realized that his wife had like something in it, but you don't see him being mad at her. And we learn from it that there's a secret, how Yitzchak and Rivka, how they deal with stuff. And also now I want to teach you some tools how to deal with conflicts. So we're talking about the CBT approach, and the CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy. It talks about 3 levels: about the cognitive level of the thoughts, that usually when we have a conflict, we will think bad thoughts about the other person, and if it's our spouse, we will think maybe he doesn't care, he does it on purpose to me. Then there's the emotional level, that we will have bad feelings, anger, sadness, maybe being afraid. And the third level is the behavioral part. It's the way we actually act. And it's can be when we're in conflict, we might say bad words, or even behave in a way like push, or like do something physical. So Nami Appel, she explains that the brain in her book, she has a beautiful book in Hebrew. I don't know if she has translated to English, but she has a book. It says the name of the book is The Power of CBT, Treating Couples. So I took from that book, and she explained that the brain, you can basically, it has two main parts. The upper part of the cerebral, that is where we have functional thinking, and the lower part, that there is the limbic part, that it has different stuff that is connected to emotions and motivations, to memory, to learning, and also the connection between all those stuff. And inside the limbic, there's the amygdala, that her thing is to help us recognize if there's danger, and when we see there's danger, we have a thing that's called FFF, that is a way to deal with the danger, and it stands for flight, fight, or freeze. That it's 3 ways to react. Fight, like you fight back. Like for instance, if you go in the street and you see snake, okay, so the 3 ways you say, okay, danger, okay, you can help me. So the 3 ways we can react. It's natural way. It's something very you do it automatically without thinking. Yeah. So flight is just run away from there. Fight will be trying to kill him, and freeze is just like stand there and don't move. And you can see it a lot, like girls that get sexual abuse and stuff. So they say it happens to them, that they just freeze, right? Like people say, oh, why you didn't run away? Why you didn't fight back? It's a very natural thing to freeze. You see it also with animals. Like some animals, even like small animals, you want to like kill them in the kitchen, they come. So sometimes they will just stand in place. Sometimes they will run away. Yeah. So it's very like a natural thing. It's automatical thing to change to deal with situations that are in danger, that we think it's in danger. So also when we have a conflict, our body, he explained it to himself that there's a danger here. Somebody is not agreeing with what I think, and stuff are not going the way I want, and there's a conflict, and it feels like it's stressful, and it feels like, okay, we're in danger. So then this same automatical thing, FFF, is coming into life, but it's actually not the right way. It makes us react not in the best way, because instead of trying to solve the problem, we fight back. We can say really hard words, or we might just run away, or we might freeze and just like say, okay, fine, whatever you say. And instead of trying to explain ourselves, we just use those 3 different ways of behavior that doesn't solve the problem, and it doesn't make the situation better. So what we want to do is to use the upper part of the brain, the cortex. And the cortex, it helps us to think in a conscious way. It's responsible about speaking, understanding language, getting good decisions. So we want that part of the brain to work. And study shows that when we have stress, the amygdala gets in action automatically, and if we want the amygdala to be less working, we need to make our cortex more like put our attention on the cortex, and then the amygdala will be less active. So it basically helps us to control ourselves if we let our cortex be in control. So instead of behaving back from the amygdala that it's being very emotional and we can scream or say bad words or cry or try to fight, that it's stuff that doesn't give a long-term solution. Like maybe now if I fight back, so the person will go away or stop, but you won't change stuff for the long term. If we want long-term solution, we will use the cortex, the rational thinking. We need self-control for it, right? And that will be my next explanation, how to get self-control. But once the cortex works, so then we can actually have good communication and try to solve the problems. And then we can have a good change for the long term. So how do you get self-control? So self-control, it's not easy. First of all, you need to want to do it. It takes energy, mental energy. It means I'm going not to do get stuff right now, because a lot of time we yell or scream or act in such a way because it gives us immediate solve the problem. But so it's the easiest thing, okay? Like the kid doesn't listen, I yell at them, and then he does what I said. But it doesn't educate them for the long term. Or my couple annoy me, so I yell at them, oh, why you didn't put back the stuff in the fridge? Yeah. So instead, now I need self-control, and I need to say, okay, I'm not happy that he left the stuff outside the fridge, but instead of yelling, I will ask him, like, can you please put it back? Or I will appreciate if you put it back in the fridge. So that takes self-control, and you need to want to do it. But when you understand that this thing will help you for the long term, it will give you more motivation to do it. So there's few ways to get motivation. First is to have to set up things that you can actually do. Okay, first be aware of what you want to do, and then you can use SMART model. I talked about it. I will put the link to that video underneath this video. How to choose a aim. How to choose stuff that you actually can do, okay? Something achievable. If you say, okay, I'm yelling 10 times a day at my kids, and now I don't want to yell at all, you can like move from 10 to nothing. Like maybe you can, but it's really hard. So you need to do it in like a specific way, and that model explains exactly how to do it, stuff that you can actually do and see the progress. It's a very good model. So I recommend to see that video. So that's one thing. The next thing is about how much you think, how much you believe you can actually deal with this problem, and that you're capable to talk instead of yell. So that's another thing. Another thing is use problem solving to have to understand what is the problem and check what the other things I can do instead, and then get decision. And I will put a link to explain exactly how to do it too underneath this video. And The last thing will be using communication in assertive way. And also I have video that explain how to have assertive communication that makes your makes you explain yourself better and get stuff that you wanted. So video for that also will be underneath. So if you have any questions about this video, you're welcome to send me email or write underneath this video. And if there's something you want me to talk about, something you want me to explain more, so you're welcome also to write underneath the video. There's a place to write questions or send me on my email. So share this video with friends, and see you Bezrat Hashem next week. Bye.